What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are powering through the return of Johnny Ridden. Last time, Uma and Rimia spied on Yazan's ground forces as they made their way to Sangre Azul, while Yazan and Jacobius battle it out in the field. Ingrid joined the battle in her Heavy Gundam Unit 2, and Led soon joined as well, piloting the red Johnny Ridden custom Gelgoog. This time, Led and Ingrid fight, and she shows him Johnny Ridden's old memories. Also, the Sangre Azul preps for launch. If this ship explodes or goes down while still in Earth's atmosphere, the Astaroth seedlings will take effect and the world will be destroyed. So let's get into this. Led begins fighting with Yazan, who is sure he is a Chimera member. Ingrid tells him to head for the target while she handles this guy. His men, Valenstein and Kawase, are down. They have to meet up with the ground forces. Yazan takes off and leaves Led to the princess. She has been waiting for this moment for a while. Meanwhile, Uma and Rimia are watching as Yazan's ground forces blow the door. That is when Uma makes his moves in the At Guy. God bless the At Guy. He tears through the ground forces' gyms. Jacobius is informed that Yazan's ground forces have made their way through their main defense to Sangre Azul, and also there is an At Guy fighting both sides. Jacobius remembers seeing the At Guy earlier and is now certain that it is Uma Lightning. He goes out to greet his old comrade. As Uma defeats gym after gym, he flashes back to a girl named Asia telling him not to throw his life away. We've gotten hints that Asia and Johnny were once lovers. With the help of Johnny, he will survive and push forward. He defeats the ground forces and makes it to the Sangre Azul. As the two fight, Ingrid tells Led to come with him. They could escape on the Sangre Azul. They won't have an opportunity like this again. But Led doesn't know what she is talking about. Uma drops off Rimia at the Sangre Azul command station, and she hacks into the control center. She says it's thanks to her dad that she could do things like that. Remember, her dad is Roy Greenwood, one of the Zeon elite pilots that was in the Brave Soldier in the Sky series. Back at base camp, Ashwarya goes on a rant with Bob about the difference between sherbet and sorbet when Rimia creates a link to the Jaburo control system. They get an email from Hoover, but she doesn't answer. She just looks at Bob and says, "I really want to analyze Jaburo." She says it with a smile, but underneath, she seems like the type that will stab Bob if he asks any follow-up questions. Ashwarya gets access and begins stealing data. Led has no idea what Ingrid is going on about, and doesn't get why she would be willing to betray her comrades for him, simply because she thinks that he is Johnny. They could handle Minaret, but she just gets blank stares. She can't believe he doesn't remember anything. Their mobile suits grapple with one another. A cosmic glow begins emitting from the two. Yazan notes he saw the same thing during grips. The biosensor has the ability to amplify thoughts, so Ingrid is going to try something. A bright light consumes Led. He wakes up and sees Asia. She refers to him as Johnny. He goes to find a young Uma and Ingrid fighting over who is the best Zeon ace pilot. We cut to Caecilia telling Johnny that he will be leading Chimera in the Battle of Abawaku. However, they won't engage in battle, but rather protect Caecilia as a display for Giran. She is prepping for a coup and a civil war post-1 year war. We fade to black and see Asia saving the Chimera, but dies in an explosion. The explosion was caused by Johnny Ridden's hands. On board the Chimera, Johnny is going to handle Uma. Jacobius wants to join him, but he says he can handle it himself. Uma and Johnny are on the same level, so if he lets his emotions get the best of him, he will lose. Cristobal tells Johnny that Asia said when dealing with Uma, you also have to deal with Ingrid. He wishes him luck, and he heads out. In the present, Led doesn't know where these memories come from. Yazan was close enough to the light that he also was able to see the memories. Jacobius monitors Ingrid. In space, Horse Harness and Neo Zeon are able to see the light. As Ashwarya and Rimia scrape data, she realizes that launch is set for 30 minutes from now. The coordinates aren't located at the command center and are programmed directly into the Zanzibar's navigation system. The only way to find out is to board the ship. Ashwarya tells her not to, but she cuts off the comms and heads towards the ship. She doesn't want to have regrets. Ashwarya tells Bob to get into contact with the Jukon sub while she goes to work hacking. The Jukon crew gets a message from Bob about needing help. If they make their move, the ships nearby will spot them. Captain Ludwig decides to call in the U-47 crew. U-47 was also a type of U-boat during World War II. They contact Diva Vel, who calls upon his services. He is happy to help Johnny Ridden. They prep their fleet submarine force. A part of the submarine force is a new mobile suit. Now I spent way too much time trying to figure out what this mobile suit is, but it appears that it is a design from a GUNPLA contest winner. There isn't really any details on this unit, but by its looks, it seems to be just a Zaku 2 with a more hydrodynamic design. One Ram Zagok heads out of the pack. We talked about the amphibious mobile suit development project by Zeon and how they strategized to gain superiority in the oceans. But after Zeon funds dried up, they used what they had. The Ram Zagok is a product of this. We talked about this in our coverage of the War in the Pocket manga, but its improved design features prevents it from stabbing something and getting stuck. The Jukan approaches the enemy and fires its torpedoes. They launch a mobile suit after the barrage. Uma Lightning heads outside with the Akai to find the giant light shining in the sky. Uma heads towards Johnny. He grabs Johnny's Gelgug and demands Ingrid tells him what she did. The two bicker like siblings, because they pretty much are siblings. Then they begin engaging in battle. Jacobius takes aim with his sniper rifle, intending to break up the fight. Ashwarya is able to help Remia by activating a ladder and cutting off the emergency alert. PMC Themis men watching can't do nothing as Ashwarya hack their systems. Remia runs onto the ship. Outside, Ingrid ignores Uma and she and Yazan head to the Sangra Azul. Suddenly, a giant beam blast comes from the sky. It happens to be the Argama-class ship. Uma pulls lead out of his cockpit as he is dealing with potentially being Johnny Ridden. He gets into contact with Ashwarya as the Sangra Azul moves towards the mass driver system. She tells Led that Remia is on board that ship. Led tells Uma to get out. He is going to stop the launch sequence. Jacobius tells his men to get in between the enemy and the Sangra Azul. He wonders if he is doing the right thing helping Oxner. Led tries to talk to Yazan and get him to work together to stop the Zanzibar to save Remia. He laughs at Led for not grasping on the fact that if someone so much as sneezes on the Sangra Azul, everyone will be dead. They make it seem like they have the Astaroth on the Sangra Azul, but I thought it was the thing to get to the thing. Either way, they have no interest in having the Sangra Azul blow up. Yazan rushes towards the Sangra Azul, but doesn't stop Led from helping. Jacobius notes that the two forces are working together now. He won't be able to stop them, but it doesn't matter because the Sangra Azul is ready for launch. A man walks into the office with the most gaudy picture of Xian Daikum. Of course, this is Char's office. He is informed of the situation regarding Horse Harnessed and Astaroth. He sends his fleet monitoring 5th Luna to go help out the old man. He believes that some bioweapon that is considered the legacy of the Zabi family has no value to him at this time. He looks at a classified document on the psychoframe. Char believes he doesn't need this weapon to accomplish his goal. Jacobius tells his men to set a 3-minute timer for lunch, but this won't be enough time for him to make his escape. Ashwarya found a disk that contains several viruses she created for FSS. She says that she used to use them to blackmail the boss, but you should never do that to the boss because he is crazy. Everyone who works at FSS is a psychopath in their own way. Also, Ashwarya tried to hack Hoover, looking for the nude pics. On the Argama class, Hoover and the team receives a message that entering South America airspace is prohibited. They are about to launch. Hoover, Cristobal, and Emma prep. The Dawn Mermaid only has 12 minutes of flight time. Led makes it to the launch site, but they are too late. As the Zanzibar launches, he yells out to Remia. Uma in the Akai stops Led from getting blown up by the backfire of the launch. He is visibly mad. A Federation fleet approaches Horse Harness's Musai. At that moment, they notice something accelerating out of the atmosphere with great speeds. He wonders if this is the Sangra Azul. Unfortunately, they can't afford to lose any Neo-Zeon soldiers, so they pull out. Uma blames himself for letting this happen to Remia, but Led doesn't blame him. Jacobius probably won't be attacking them again. Now that the Sangra Azul is no longer in Jaburo, PMC Themis has no reason to be there either. They all pack up their operation. One soldier comes in and tells Jacobius that the Sangra Azul has suddenly changed its trajectory. Back at base camp, Ashwarya tells Bob that they need to pack up ASAP and get out of here. She happened to be able to change the trajectory of the Sangra Azul, and only she knows its location. She walks away, and Bob just stares in befuddlement at what she just said. Don't give Bob a panic attack. The Ram Zagok team gets hit. Ludwig and the Jukan team begin flanking. The Ram Zagok pilots notice that they aren't attacking directly, and only attacking around them. He realizes that one sub is acting as a bait. It is a special ops U-boat that isn't picked up on sonar. It does this at the expense of being much slower than your typical U-boat. It also has some echo-absorbing technology that they try to bro science their way through. All this to say, radars are giving them false intel. They will simply try to make as much noise underwater to throw off the U-boats. As the Ramsagaks head out, U-47 begins moving very, very slowly. On Ludwig's U-boat, he says that they can't keep dodging their torpedoes forever. He realizes that more enemy forces are on their way, and U-47 knows this. They're going to sacrifice themselves and let Ludwig escape. Xeon remnants are so bored and hiding that they will commit suicide for you at a moment's notice. Ludwig hasn't heard from any of Johnny's team. The Argama class launches some Dawn escargots. The Dawn escargot is an anti-submarine bomber used during the One-Year War. It was made to specifically hunt down Yukon U-boats. They can deploy sonar buoys and quickly go into action. It is equipped with 4 anti-air machine guns for defense, torpedoes, and depth charges. The Argama has been hailed by the 109th Battle Sector and wants to know why they are spreading Minovsky particles. They ignore them as Hoover heads out to launch. Cristobal and Emma drop launch in the Dom Mermaids. And that will do it for this episode. We're covering a lot of ground fast, and things at Jaburo are popping off. Led is confused of the memories Ingrid showed him, but he seems to be taking it in strides. Next time, we will see Hoover pilot a Gem Intercept Custom. After Horse harnesses actions, Shar now gets involved in the chase for Minaret, and after the battle, Hoover gets the Jukon team to join them as they chase down Remia and the Sangra Azul in space. That will do it for now, new types. Remember, if you need to get something done for the day, just find yourself a Xeon Remnant team. They'll do anything. Peace.